Hello, my name is Ed Armantrout, and I am the pastor of New Burlington United Methodist Church. If you watch our videos each Sunday, last Sunday I invited you to our Ash Wednesday service, and I told you we wouldn't be filming it, but we've changed our mind, so we are going to video the scripture from that message and also the message. So this is for our Ash Wednesday service. So the scripture lesson I'm going to use in my message is from Matthew chapter 6, verses 1 through 6, and then starting with 16 through 21. So it begins. Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people, in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give to the needy, sound no trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by others. Truly I say to you, they have received the reward. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And when you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, that they may be seen by others. Truly I say to you, they have received the reward. But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And then beginning with Matthew 16. And when you fast, do not look gloomy like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces that the fasting may be seen by others. Truly I say to you, they have received the reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And so I called this message tonight for the right reason. And so in this scripture, he's kind of really talking about three different things. He's talking about almsgiving, which for us would be giving to charities or the needy, prayer, and then fasting. So the real question here is, what's your motive? Why are you doing it? And for him, what he's comparing, what you should do as compared to what some people do is all the glory about me. Now, we live in the me generation where it's me and I and everything's supposed to be about us. And so this generosity that you're sharing with others, are you doing it so everybody knows how great and wonderful you are, or is it to show off or to bring praise upon yourself? Now, you can go to any NFL stadium or any NBA stadium or arena, and it's got somebody's name on it. And we were at Toledo the other day, and I remember when that was built, and it was named after their basketball coach. He'd been there forever. It was opened in 1976. It's called the Bob Nichols Arena. And when we went there, I couldn't find where the arena was because it kept saying the John Savage Arena. But when I got there, they had remodeled the arena. They'd added some suites on the one side. They added a food. They'd added another practice court. And so my guess is, I didn't really ask anybody from Toledo, but I don't know who John Savage is, but apparently John Savage gave enough money that they renamed the arena for him. And Bob Nichols, who I don't believe is with us any longer, doesn't really know that the arena's name was changed, but it shows how we've changed, where he just spent all that time at the university as a coach, and they, rewarded him by naming the arena, but yet when they needed something else done, they were pretty quick to take his name off, and now it's the John Savage Arena. So did he do that? I don't know, Mr. Savage, but if he just did that out of the kindness of his heart, great. But if we do things to get the notoriety, to have our name on the side of a building, then maybe that's not the best way to do it. Now, Mr. Brown, so I'm going to talk a little Ball State here. I heard Mr. Brown one time talking about the, not the auditorium, but where you look at the stars at Ball State, whatever that thing's called. And it's named after him. It's Charlie Brown is his name, funny enough, but his name is Charlie Brown. And he was leaving there because they just opened it, and he was walking back to his car, and he said, I'm thinking to myself, that is so cool that they named a building after me. a whole building, the one that you see the stars with. And he said, I just can't imagine in my whole life that anything like that would happen. And he said, I'm feeling puffed up and really cool. And he said, I get to my car and there's a parking ticket on it. And he said, you know what? Maybe that was God's way of saying, you know what, Charlie, you're not all that special. You're not all that important. And so he said, I needed that because I was feeling pretty puffed up until I got to the car and saw the parking ticket. And so this idea is, are we doing this for our own personal fame? Are we doing it for the right reasons? And he's really talking about the same thing with fasting. If we go around saying, oh, I'm so hungry because I fasted to show how much discipline I have towards my God, and you want everybody to know about your fasting, well, then you're just really doing it for your own personal prestige. It's, I am so great, I am so good, look at me, because I can fast or I can give. And he says the same thing about prayer. You're out on the public. I always think of football players in a way doing this. He's beating his chest, telling about what a great person he is and how God's going to answer his prayers because his prayers are so much better than everybody else's. And that's not what this is supposed to be about. And so are we concerned about what happens to us on earth? So we want our name on the arena. We want everybody to know we're fasting. We want everybody to know what a great giver we are. We're such a great giver, they named the church after us. They named the building after us. Or are we doing it because God is wanting us to do that, and that is part of answering God's call, those things that allow us to get into heaven. When we give alms and we try to be the right kind of people, do we want everyone to see what the great gift is? Or can we be humble and just do it because that's what I'm supposed to do? And when we give, do we do it because we think it's a sense of duty? That, well, I know I'm supposed to do this, so I'm going to do it. Or do we do it because God has done so many wonderful and great things in our life that we want to show back? Not really show back might not be the best word. We want to give back to those things so that God understands how much we appreciate what he does for us each and every day. And so when you look at all those things, whether it's giving or praying for others, whether it's fasting to become closer to the Lord, what's the reason you're doing it for? Are you doing it to show how much God has meant to your life, how much he leads you and guides you in all you do? Or are you doing it just so everybody can look at you and go, gosh, that Pastor Ed, he's a wonderful guy. He does this, he's the best prayer. Well, that's not what it's about. It's about what God has done for us, not what we're doing, so everybody will see what we're doing. So we come to this time of Lent, and a lot of times people give something up. I always had a friend that would give up chocolate, and on the 41st day after Lent started, she was eating chocolate. So I have a suggestion for you. If you find yourself in any of that group where you're looking to increase awareness of yourself instead of what God's done for you, pray about that. And make a change over this Lenten time that you don't do just over Lent. Make it a change that over those 40 days, at the end of the 40 days, it'll be a change that you'll continue to do. So whether that's giving, if it's giving or prayer, or if you want to begin fasting, I would say take time to let God talk to you in prayer, to lead you into something that you're going to want to do the rest of your life because it shows how much God has made a difference in your life. And it can't be something that's just about you, okay? We have plenty of you people in the world right now. But whatever individual change you make, it needs to be something that you can carry out into all the world and make a change for people around you. We live in this time of I'm going to be a better person, I'm going to be better at this, I'm going to be thinner, I'm going to be more muscular, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we want those things for ourselves. But in God's world, it means we're going to take those things out and share to all of mankind. Because our goal is to make sure that everybody who wants to can have God in their life, and we don't want to leave anybody standing by the sidelines.